said that what were you saying? They dumped water onto the frozen field, and the question I have is, are they saying that Arkansas did that as a way to cheat and win the game, or are they saying they were just stupid?
I mean, the report just was making fun of the grounds crew of saying, like, who the hell thinks putting water on snow makes it wash away? No, it turns to ice. But yeah, the field was covered in snow for the Arkansas LSU game yesterday. And Arkansas literally ran their sprinklers to wash the snow away. And all it did was create an ice rink out there on the field. It was ridiculous. And that's why you saw two of the offenses who are putting up a lot of points play a 13-10 game yesterday.
Which sucked because, I mean, we had a great night. We were plus 3.51. Everything was great. But if that LSU one hits, that means the top bets would have went 6-1. Yours would have went 4-1. Damn, that LSU hooked. Kept it a good day for being a legendary day. So yeah, we're live, I think. Let me check on my phone to make sure we're live because no one's commenting. So just want to make sure. Good morning to everyone. Yep, we're live. Okay. Good morning to everyone. We're going through the games. The Seahawks-Bucks game is going on right now. First down Bucks. They're driving. I'm on the Seahawks. Sean is on the Bucks in that one, but we both did play the under. Or I think I played the under. I don't know if Sean did. He said he would lean the under.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyway, a lot of games to go through. Actually, not too many because there's some bye weeks, but we'll start with Jags at Chiefs, and I will go first. I'm on the Jags plus 9.5, and I'm on the Jags team total over 20.5. Now I have this one on YouTube, so many of you have probably already seen my thoughts on this game, but I'll just run through it. Basically, this is a lot of points to lay for a team that hasn't won a single game at home by more than 3 points all year. I mean, the Chiefs' biggest home victory was they beat the Chargers by 3. That was the most decisive Chiefs home win this year. And the Jags are the same thing. It's the same story with the Jags. They're 3-6, but they haven't been beaten by more than one score once this whole season. I mean, this team went into Philadelphia and only lost by 8. Granted, there was like a block punt and a little weirdness to that game, but still, the final score, they only lost by 8 points. So to lay 9.5 here is a little shaky to me. And then the Chiefs' run defense in the last 4 weeks is at the very bottom of the league. Not 32nd, it's 25th, but it's bad. Derrick Henry, 6.8 yards per carry. Jeff Wilson, 7.7 yards a carry. Singletary, the Bills can't run on anybody. Singletary had over 5 yards a carry on the Chiefs, and Josh Jacobs, 7.3 yards a carry. Those are the last 4 backs that face the Chiefs. Travis Etienne has had over 100 rush yards in 3 straight games, and he's averaging 6.2 yards a carry in 3 straight games. I mean, this is the recipe. The table is set for Etienne to have a big game on the ground. And I'm not saying that the Jags defense is going to have answers for the Chiefs offense. They won't. The Chiefs are going to move the chain slowly and methodically. It won't be big plays like people are thinking, but they're going to move the ball up and down the field fairly easily. But I also think Jacksonville is poised to have a big game as well. And, if you think back, the Jags have a history of winning these games, or like playing tough. I mean, there are 2 games this year where they were an underdog of 6 points or more. One was the Chargers, where they went into LA and beat the Chargers like 38-7 or something. And then the other one was, what's the other one? Oh, the other one was the Eagles, where they lost by 8. And then if you remember last year, when they played the Bills, they were like 9-point underdogs. They beat them. I think they were like 13-point underdogs in that game. They beat them 9-6. So the Jags have a history of playing well in these games where they're big underdogs. So I'm comfortable taking the points, and I'm taking the team total over 20.5 because I think Etienne's going to have a big game on the ground. And as long as Jacksonville doesn't turn the ball over, I think they're going to score. Who would like to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. This was a tough one for me, because truthfully, I really think that KC could put up numbers. I'm not sold on this Jaguars pass defense. I think they're quite exploitable. And I also think they struggle quite badly with the short pass, which is the Chiefs' strength right now. So they're 27th in short pass defensive DVOA, and that's kind of a nightmare, as you said in the video yesterday, with guys like Kelsey and Juju Smith-Schuster running those intermediate routes. The problem is Travis Etienne. This guy is a walking home run hitter. He could get stuff at the line of scrimmage, turn around, and bust that baby to the outside for an 80-yard touchdown. He is one of the most explosive players in the NFL, and the Chiefs have been struggling against much less explosive running backs. Now they have to see Etienne, a guy that's an efficient monster, could be one of, if not the most efficient back in the league. That's a really, really tough matchup, and I think he's going to ultimately be the difference maker in this one. Kyle wound up saying that he had gone over 100-plus rush yards in 3 straight, but for my prop today, probably one of my favorite props of the day, I'm going Travis Etienne over 100.5 rush plus receiving yards, minus 120, and that's on PointsBet. I'm putting a full unit on it. I would play that up to 103.5. He's cashless now in 5 straight games, faces this exploitable KC defense on the ground, but not only are they exploitable on the ground, in the air, they're allowing the 3rd most yards per game, the most pass attempts per game, and are 26th in DVOA. So even if they do get blown out, I think Etienne should get some looks in the passing game because he could do a lot in open space.
Yeah, like someone in the comments said they liked Etienne over 80.5 rush yards too. So looks like some people are on the same page. Sean is on the Chiefs. Tell us why you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm on the Chiefs in this one. I completely agree with you guys about Etienne being able to have a big game in this one. However, this is a complete fade of Trevor Lawrence. It's so far in his career, he has not shown that he's able to win shootout games or even be competitive in shootout games. Last week, I believe Scoop, if he's awake and in the comments, he can confirm this. I'm pretty sure last week was the first time Trevor Lawrence got a win as a starting quarterback when his defense gave up double-digit points. The Chiefs are definitely going to get double digits in this one. I just don't think Trevor Lawrence can keep pace with Mahomes and this Chiefs offense. I understand Mecole Hardman is out for the Chiefs, but in my opinion, Kadarius Toney can slide right into that role and be even better than Hardman. I think he's a better overall receiver. And might even be faster than Hardman as well. So I don't think they're going to miss a beat there. And then this Jaguars defense is just in a bad way right now. They were top 10 in DVOA for most of the season, at least the early part of the season. And now they're all the way down to 22nd. I expect this Chiefs offense to have a day. And then this is just, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is up to compete in a shootout.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. It's not one of my favorites. But Jess is in the comments. AJ Beaver, she's asking where she can get those odds for ETN.
Yeah, so I always look on OddsJam before I do my things. It's not a plug. Fuck you, OddsJam. But essentially, I always look for the best lines. And when I was looking, I saw that PointsBet and FanDuel, they both had that at 100.5 and 101.5. And then the other 3 major books, Caesars, DraftKings, and MGM, they all had that at 102.5. But as I said, when I set the play, I would play that up to 103.5. I think there's a ton of value. I think that they're not quite up to the amount of usage that ETN has gotten these past 2 weeks, 24 and 28 carries.
All right, cool. So, yeah, it looks like you can get it around that number on most books. As Isaiah Curry just said in the comments, Julio Jones just scored a touchdown, in case you guys don't have it on. 7-0 Bucks.
I was just about to say, Julio Jones scored his first touchdown since 2004.
Yeah, right.
Since George Bush, the senior, was president.
Yeah, yay.
Next game, Texans on the road at the Meadowlands to play the Giants. Another game that I put on YouTube, so I'll be pretty brief because I'm sure you guys have already seen it. Obviously, the Texans run defense. Oh, let me put my pick up. I'm on the G-Men. Giants -5. I love, this is a weird thing to say, but I love that it moved back up to 5 because it dropped down from 6.5 to 5. Then it dropped to 4.5, and I was like, holy shit, what am I missing? But then it moved back up to 5, so at least the books are showing the Giants some respect. So yeah, I think it's a perfect spot for this Giants team, specifically the offense. Saquon Barkley might rush for 200 in this game. The Houston Texans run defense is so bad. It's so bad. It's the worst in the league by like a really healthy margin. And it's not just the run. It's not like the defensive line gets no push. They're also dead last in adjusted line yards. They're just so bad. And the Giants coming off a bye week. I'm not huge on the bye week, but just well rested, coming off their first loss in a while. They should be really motivated to go out there and put the hurt down. Just establish the run game and play it safe. Dayball's done a real good job. And as far as the Giants on defense, I think they're going to be ready for Dameon Pierce in that run game. If you look, I said in the YouTube video, when they game plan to stop the run, when Dayball, I shouldn't say Dayball, what's the name of that defensive coordinator? He's
Wade Martindale.
Martindale. He's the guy from the Ravens, yeah. So when Martindale, when he game plans to stop the run, they stop the run. The Ravens gashed him because they were kind of game plan to stop the pass because that's what the Ravens were doing at the time. I think the Giants win comfortably. I like the Giants by double digits, to be honest, but I'll take -5.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me because I really think the Giants should be laying more points here, even with not that great of a talent disparity between these two teams. I just think the coaching disparity is out of this world. And we're also talking about the Giants at home compared to the Texans on the road. Davis Mills does not know how to play football on the road. Now, this is the game that I created my SGP with. Should I share it now, Kyle, or later? You know how you told me to cook up a parlay? I made an SGP.
You know what? Save it for the end.
Okay. All right. Word. Yeah. So I would just go with the Giants -5. I truly think they're the better team, better quarterback, better weapons, better running back, better rush defense. I mean, come on.
And Sean?
Yeah, I'm on the Giants as well. Not one of my favorite plays. You're right, though. Now that it went up a little bit, I do feel a little better about it because I agree with Beaver. I feel like this should be closer to a touchdown, especially at the Meadowlands, like with the Giants home. But both of these run defenses are struggling, to say the least. But the Texans are god-awful in every statistical category. We joke around how the Giants are 6-2, but are like one of the worst teams per DVOA. This might be the only matchup all year where they are the clear better team across the board. I expect them to roll and cover here. But I also think this game is a sneaky overplay. I don't know if I'm going to play it yet. I'm trying to talk myself into it. But I think Pierce and Saquon both could have good games in this one. And the Giants can have success through the air as well. This total is just a little low. The weather's not supposed to be that bad here in Jersey. I think that's a sneaky overplay. And I'm trying to talk myself into it by kickoff.
All right, so all three of us on the same page. Come on, Gino, make a play. Gino easily could have ran for that first down, and he threw it into the dirt. What a fucking scrub. Next game. Like, what are you doing? I don't even want to watch this replay. It's pathetic. All right, Vikings at Bills next. Wow, all right. So, I'm doing it. I'm on the Vikes. Taking the 6.5. And here is why. I didn't put this one on YouTube because we didn't know who was playing quarterback for the Bills for most of the week, and looks like Josh Allen's going to play. So when's the last time we saw Josh Allen look like a good quarterback? Like, I was going to say elite quarterback. When's the last time we saw him look like a good quarterback? It'd be the first half of the Green Bay game a couple weeks back. None of us know how healthy this dude is at all. I'm assuming because he's missing practices, and they couldn't even confirm that he was definitely playing until, yesterday, that he's not healthy, and he hasn't looked healthy, dealing with the elbow injury. I read something saying his throwing motion is off, and it makes complete sense, because he's making bad throws. He's missing wide open guys. He's throwing bad interceptions. You ready for this? Josh Allen has thrown 4 interceptions in his last 5 quarters of football. 4 interceptions in 5 quarters, almost throwing a pick a quarter at this rate. And 3 of those 4 were absolutely unexcusably awful. We weren't like, a tip pass at the line. They were awful. He hasn't looked good. And I got to ask you, what is this Buffalo Bills offense without Josh Allen? That's the whole thing. They can't run the ball. Their leading rusher is Josh Allen. What is this? What do you find admirable about this Buffalo Bills team without Josh Allen? I know they're widely touted as one of the best defenses in the NFL, but they're not even playing great defense recently. The Jets, and the Jets are a pretty good team, but they're not an elite rushing team. The Jets just cooked that elite Bills defense for 174 yards rushing on 5.1 yards a carry with Michael Carter, James Robinson, and a really beat up offensive line. This Buffalo Bills defense isn't playing elite. It might have been a month ago, not anymore. Minnesota's run game with Dalvin Cook is way better than the Jets. If the Jets can do that, what the hell is Dalvin Cook and the Vikings going to do to this Bills defense? I mean, I get it. A lot of people are harking on what we saw from the Bills a month ago, 6 weeks ago. What have we seen from them recently? They don't look good. Keep in mind, this is a Vikings football team that hasn't lost a game in 2 months. They haven't lost a game in 2 months. And now they're going to lay almost a full touchdown to them with a team that we haven't seen play really well in about a month themselves. With an injured quarterback that can't seem to stop turning the ball over. I think the Bills, right now, with Josh Allen hurt, are not nearly as good as they're being priced. I think the Bills' defense is extremely overvalued right now. And I think the Bills team as a whole, without Josh Allen healthy, is slightly above average. And by the way, you want to know what unit is definitely undervalued? The Minnesota defense. In the last 4 weeks, the Vikings have been better than the Bills on defense significantly against the run and against the pass. Did you know Zadarius Smith leads the NFL in pressure rate? I mean, this Vikings defense is playing really well. It had a couple bad games early in the season, but this is a top 10 defense, and getting 6.5 points with a 7-1 team. I mean, I'm in. I'm on the Vikes. Don't sleep on the people in purple.
The Vikings would have held the Commanders to single digits if the ref didn't throw a pick on the Viking safety.
Exactly. Yo, that had me fucking heated. Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on the under here, under 46.5. Like you said, Josh Allen, is he healthy? As far as any reports that I've read this week, they said he could grip a football. That's not what I want to hear from a guy who's going to have to be throwing the ball all over. I don't think anybody's seen him throw a pass yet, but I expect him to do a lot of work on the ground here in this one. It's not like it's like a bone thing. It's like kind of like a ligament thing for him. Throwing wide, so I think he should be fine running the ball still. And then they have a trio of backs that are pretty decent in Devin Singletary, James Cook, and then of course they just got Naheem Hines. I expect the Bills to still try to run it here, but this Vikings defense is top 10 in the league versus the run, as Kyle just mentioned. And on the flip side, Minnesota, Dalvin Cook has been struggling this year. I mean, he's still Dalvin Cook, but the Vikings are 24th, I believe, in rush yards per game, and this Bills defense is very solid. They're top 10 both versus the pass and versus the run. I know they're missing some guys in the secondary, but they've been missing guys in the secondary all year, so that doesn't really concern me. And then the kicker here, why I really like the under, it's going to be snowing in Buffalo today and freezing conditions. That is a stone cold under here with an injured Josh Allen, who should be the best player on the field. If he's going to be hobbled and can't sling it all over. Both defenses very good against the run. I expect a slot fest in this one and an easy under 46.5.
AJ?
Yeah, so if I didn't bet 3 running backs overs already, I would be on Dalvin Cook over. But I don't know if I could do that. I'm gonna go with the Vikings here. Kyle has officially brought me to his side. I hate it, but dude, if Josh Allen can't throw the ball, then no offense, but the Bills are essentially worthless. Like, what has this team shown us lately, rush defense wise? Do you know what Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon were doing heading into that Sunday Night Football game? In their previous 3 games, that they were averaging less than 4 yards per carry. They ran all over the Buffalo Bills. Then the next
and they immediately went back to sucking.
Yeah,
right
and then
after.
James Robinson and Michael Carter in their first week without Breece Hall against the Patriots couldn't do anything on the ground. They faced the Buffaloes. They ripped them to shreds. So I think the trend's going to follow this week. We saw the Bills defense, especially the rush defense, be exploitable last year. Remember when we bet the Colts against the Bills and they beat the living shit out of them? Well, we know that the Minnesota Vikings have Justin Jefferson, but if we're looking at DVOA, this is actually a rushing team, and that's their strength. I expect them to lean heavily on Dalvin Cook today, and to cover this number, give me the Vikings.
Vikes up. Next game. Detroit Lions at Chicago Bears. Bears 3-point favorites at home. Total set at 48.5. So I'm on the Lions. And Actually, what helped me get there was Sean's write-up. Sean's on the Lions too, spoiler alerts. So when I went to do this game, we were going back and forth, and then I was like, let's see what Sean has, and he had the Lions, and I read his write-up, and it was pretty solid. But I went and found some new notes, some good stuff on this game, so I'll share them. All right. Yeah, so Justin Fields looks great. Some of the tackles he's able to get out of is seriously impressive. I don't know if there's anyone else in the NFL that could do it like that. But seriously, can you name one other redeeming quality about the Chicago Bears team other than Justin Fields' athleticism? Like anything. Is there anything you like? There's this narrative going around that this Bears team is a problem now because they backdoor covered a spread and lost. I mean, keep in mind, this may be the worst defense in the NFL. That title used to belong to Detroit. Not anymore. The Bears' defensive numbers over the past 4 weeks are just laugh out loud bad. They're hilariously bad. They're 29th overall, 26th against the pass, 27th against the run. This defense was already bad. That was before they traded Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith. Now it's like borderline an XFL defense. I mean, shit, man. Miami came into Chicago and was making plays in the run game. The Dolphins can't run the ball. They're making plays in the run game on the Bears. The Bears defense is like the ultimate like get right spot for an offense. Like I feel like there should be a bumper sticker, like, having offensive problems, play the Bears. That defense is just so bad. By the way, if you want to talk about the Lions, you want to know how the Lions defense have been playing? Actually, in the past 4 weeks, it's been okay. I'm not going to say it's good, but they're 12th in DVOA in the last 4 weeks, that defense. They gave Dak Prescott and the Cowboys some problems. Cowboys only scored 24 points in that game against the Lions. And Detroit did nothing offensively either, so they were just punting it back to him. Still only scored 24. They completely shut the Packers offense down last week. Not that the Packers offense is good, but holding Aaron Rodgers to 9 points is still an accomplishment. I'm not going to say that the Lions defense is good. I'm just saying they're playing at a much higher level than they were early in the season. Aiden Hutchinson's developing right before our eyes. He's making plays. Compared to the Bears defense, the Lions are the 2001 Ravens. The Bears defense is so bad. And here's the part that I really like. You want to know what the Lions' defensive strength is? Not only are they 12th in DVOA in defense overall in the last 4 weeks, they're 6th in run defense DVOA. This team has been playing well against the run. In case you didn't know, that's all the Chicago Bears do is run the ball. They're first in the NFL by far in run play frequency. No one runs the ball as much as the Bears. And the Lions have been playing solid defense against the run. Yeah, I'll give you that the Bears offense has been slightly better than Detroit's, and Justin Fields is clearly a freak, but he's still not throwing the ball, and the Bears defense is practical joke awful. I'll take the Lions plus a full 3. Anyone?
Dude, I got nothing to add to this game. I just don't know. This is a really, really tough one. I mean, I get what both sides here, because the Bears offense truthfully does look really good. They haven't played the greatest of competition. I mean, the Patriots defense is pretty legit, but without Kyle Duggar, that's definitely a big hit. But they shat on Miami offensively in terms of what they could do, even despite not being able to throw the ball the best. But Justin Fields and his legs, what he could do with that is absolutely insane. I was looking, did you know that the Lions allow the second most rushing yards to quarterbacks? Even guys like Geno Smith, who don't necessarily run the ball, had 49 yards rushing against them. Aaron Rodgers just had 40 yards rushing against them. So it seems as if like anybody and everybody will run the ball on this Lions team. And I really think that if I just had to pick anything, I really wouldn't bet this light because it's quite public. But if there was something that I had to bet for this game, I would go Justin Fields over 246.5 pass plus rush yards. The Lions defense, with the exception of a single game against the Packers, haven't shown me a goddamn thing all season. So I truly don't trust them. I don't know if I ever will trust them, but I do trust that Justin Fields is using those legs like a madman, and he's cashed his last 4 or 5, averaging 260. So I think there's some nice value there.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm with Kyle. I love the Lions here in this spot. I don't know if you guys know, but the Bears are the hottest team in the NFL. Their offense is on par with the Chiefs, Bills, and the Eagles. And this team may go down as the most electric unit in NFL history. Or not. Or they still fucking suck. And Justin Fields does not throw the ball. if you got an award and won the Super Bowl for almost winning a game, then yeah, that's the Bears. But now they're going to be a 3-point favorite. Like, what are we doing here? This game should be a pick'em at the most. I understand Fields has been playing better, but like Kyle pointed out, it's running the ball. They've still lost 4 of their last 5, and he has cleared 200 yards passing in one of those games. It's going to be lopsided. I like AJ's prop because I think Fields could run for over 100 yards in this game easy, so he could get to the passing yardage as well for that. But, I mean, what are we doing here? The Bears basically have to win by margin. They got to win by over a field goal. Here, I understand it's the Lions, but they've been the more impressive team than the Chicago Bears this year. And this number just makes – and all the money's on the Bears. It just makes no sense right now. I don't know what – like, I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe and where the Bears have been winning games and not just, like, competing in them.
Also on BetMGM, Justin Fields over 63.5 rush yards is the second most bet prop this week.
Touchdown Leonard Fournette, by the way. 13-0 PAT pending. Next game.
All right, well.
Saints at Steelers. All right. Fuck this game. All right, so I'm on Pittsburgh. I'm not thrilled.
Oh, you are on Pittsburgh.
Yeah. All right, and I did some deep diving around 6 a.m. this morning to get here. And these were my findings. So the Saints are 0-3 against the spread on the road this year. And you can make an argument that if you look at the Saints schedule, their 3 road games were the 3 ugliest games of the season. I mean, first week 1, they go on the road to Atlanta. They ended up getting a miracle comeback win, 27-26. Obviously, they didn't cover. They were not the better team in that game. They got outplayed. Their second road game was at Carolina, where they got beat by 8 points by, wait for it, Baker Mayfield. That's still, to this day, Baker Mayfield's only win on the season. Saints road game. That's where Baker gets his dub. And they beat him pretty handily, too. Saints turned the ball over 3 times in that game. Then the last road game was at Arizona, where they got embarrassed on Thursday Night Football. Cardinals scored 42 points. I didn't even know Kyler Murray could count to 42. And Arizona puts up 42 on the Saints. New Orleans has turned the ball over 7 times in their 3 road games this year. And I think the Andy Dalton magic is fading. When he took over in week 4, there was like a little 3-week span where like the Saints offense had this new energy to it. It's not really there. It doesn't look like there's much left in the tank. Because even the Raiders game, where the Saints dominated, they won 24-0. Andy Dalton, the offense wasn't particularly good in that game. The Saints defense held the Raiders to 180 total yards. I mean, if your defense holds the opposing offense to 180 yards, I mean, you're going to be gifted opportunities to score. I'm not saying Andy Dalton was bad in that game. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't overly impressive. The Raiders offense gave him it. Now, as far as the Steelers go, I don't have a ton of positive things to say, which is alarming considering I'm betting them. But and Minka Fitzpatrick isn't going to play. That sucks. But TJ Watt is back. Nothing gives a defense a boost like the Defensive Player of the Year, right? That's obviously huge. And also, look at the Steelers' schedule. In their last 5 games, they played at Philly, at Buffalo, at Miami, and home against the Jets. I mean, that's 4 top 10 teams out of their last 5 games. You don't want to know what the 5th game is in there? Home against Tampa Bay, they beat them. They won 2018. So they played 4 top 10 teams, lost those games. The one team they played that wasn't a top 10 NFL team, they won. The Saints are definitely not a top 10 NFL team, I'll tell you that. I think the Steelers win this one at home. Sean?
Yeah, I'll go next in this one. I'm going to do one better. I think the Steelers blow the doors off the Saints today.
What?
I'm being dead serious. I was going through this game last night, and I was like, I think I'm on the Steelers. And then, like, the more I looked at it, I'm just like, yo, they're going to win this game by 14 plus. The Saints are bad. The Steelers, on paper, are bad. But hear me out. As Kyle just said, their schedule. They have played the hardest offensive and defensive schedule by far in the NFL, and that is really tough when you're trying to work in a rookie quarterback and Kenny Pickett. but they're coming off the bye. I've been really impressed with Pickett so far. I was making jokes about his baby hands and thought he was going to stink. I have to eat crow. He looks like an NFL quarterback. He stands in the pocket, makes throws. He's athletic, can make moves on the ground game. And then I love the fact that they're like, yo, Najee Harris, you look like Trent Richardson right now. So we're going to work in Jaylen Warren also in the running game. I love that they're making them adjustments and not scared to go away from their first round pick from a year ago. And like you said, Minka Fitzpatrick is out, but TJ Watt is back. If there's one player in the NFL that is like an absolute game wrecker, it's TJ Watt. The Bengals couldn't even move the ball week 1 versus the Steelers defense with TJ Watt was in there. And then they went to shit since then. This is a huge get back for the Steelers here. And when you have a guy like guy coming off the edge like TJ Watt here versus a quarterback like Andy Dalton, he's going to make some mistakes and probably throw a couple picks in this one. And I think this George Pickens and Deontay Johnson and these Steelers receivers can have a good day versus the same secondary that's still going to be missing Marshawn Lattimore here. I really like the Steelers here in this one.
Yeah, and I remember that Bengals game that ended in a 20-20 tie, I think. No, Steelers won in overtime, didn't they?
Yeah.
The Colts game was the tie. Yeah. So I remember that game looking at the stats, and it was like Bengals yard per play before TJ Watt got hurt was like 2.9. And then for the rest of the game on after he left was like 7.9. It was like 3 times as many yards per play without him on the field.
I think the Steelers had 4 interceptions.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. So,
all right, prop Beaver.
I'm big on the Steelers after the bye this year. I think that a lot of good things are going to start happening for this offense. Honestly, with Kenny Pickett in there, I'm starting to see some like resemblance of a decent offense, and I'm starting not to hate Matt Canada. I actually think he's quite creative. I think that he opens up some nice things for receivers and even like guys like Najee Harris, but some of the guys don't take opportunities. Now we got the bye. I think they're going to scheme up George Pickens a lot more in this game. He's pretty much been Kenny Pickett's favorite target, not only in the preseason, but in the regular season as well. He has a nice matchup here with, as Sean said, Marshawn Lattimore out. I don't know the status of Paulson and Debo, but if he's out as well, then they're really, really vulnerable. And Najee Harris sucks. And as Sean was saying, thank God they know, because the city of Pittsburgh would look like the city of Dubai if Jaylen Warren was starting at running back since week 1. He is an animal in terms of efficiency. Najee Harris is the complete opposite. Watching Najee Harris hurts my eyes. So I'm glad that Mike Tomlin is getting smarter. I don't trust the Saints. I don't trust Dennis Allen. I'm starting to think Dennis Allen's really not a great head coach. So I'm going to go with the Steelers here. At home, Mike Tomlin, I mean, fuck it. Steal up.
This guy's saying the history shows that the Saints are always lethargic in cold weather games. I mean, I'm in Jersey. It's not that cold out. It's like nice fall weather. I don't know what it's like.
I also thought that was just like a Drew Brees stat, but I honestly don't know what they've done since Brees retired. But I know that was a thing when he was playing, was like he can't play outdoors.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, so let's move it on. Hold on. Let me see what this flag is.
Damn, I thought that was a hell of a catch by DK.
Yeah, me too. No, it wasn't. Spoilers. Browns on this game just better stay under. So I don't want to go into the football Sunday down units. We got a half unit on Seahawks, half unit on the under. So if it just stays under, I'll take a split at this point. Because the Seahawks look Geno looks terrible. Anyway,
and Browns. Kenneth Walker can't run the ball, so
yeah. Browns on the road at Dolphins. I'm all over Cleveland here. All over the Brownies. And this one, I looked at this one, when I first looked at this one early in the week, I went into yesterday still undecided. Last night was when I decided on this one. I like it. And honestly, it feels like kind of an easy one. So yeah, we know the Dolphins offense has been great. I don't even have to go into it. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua, you already know. Dolphins offense, especially the passing offense, is electric, maybe the best in football. We already know that. But this Miami defense is terrible. It was playing much better earlier in the season. Do you want to know, AJ, when do you think the last time the Dolphins covered a spread was? Guess, without looking.
Cold War?
The answer is September 25th.
The
Remember
Bills
that
game?
the Bills game? Remember that Bills game where they won
Wow.
21-19? That feels like a long ass time ago, right? That was the last time the Miami Dolphins covered a spread. I mean, they didn't cover against Chicago last week. They pushed against the Lions the week before that. Then before that was ATS losses against Minnesota, Jets, Cincinnati. It's been 7 weeks since the Dolphins covered a spread. And it's no secret why. I promise you this is not on Tua in the offense. Miami's defense is just really bad. Jared Goff threw for like 330 on the Dolphins. Justin Fields looked like prime Cam Newton last week. Justin Fields has only thrown 10. He played 9 football games this year, Justin Fields. He's only thrown 10 touchdown passes on the season. So 9 games, 10 touchdown passes. 3 of those 10 came in one game against the Dolphins. No one's even talking about how bad this Dolphins defense is. It's bad. And you want to know what else nobody's talking about? The fact that the Cleveland Browns have one of the highest rated teams on both offense and defense in the last 4 weeks. They've been playing good football. Yeah, they haven't been winning games, but they're playing hard, and they're playing well. They've had a couple tough breaks. In the past four weeks, Cleveland is 5th in overall DVOA, 6th on offense, 8th on defense. Jacoby Brissett doesn't light up the stat sheet, but he's efficient as hell, and Nick Chubb continues to be the most consistent running back in football. The Browns defense is the one that got me. I had no idea. Do you know how many... me and AJ were looking at this last night. Do you know how many quarterbacks have lit the Browns up this season? All year. It's really just 2. One was Bailey Zappi, and that was because I'm sure Cleveland get prepared for a run game, and then Bailey Zappi comes out throwing the ball 40 times. Like, who the hell saw that coming? And then the other one was Joe Flacco in the first game of second game of the year. If you look at the Cleveland Browns schedule, Joe Burrow couldn't throw the ball in Cleveland. Lamar Jackson couldn't throw the ball in Cleveland. Justin Herbert couldn't throw the ball in Cleveland. The Browns defense is getting beat by the run a little bit, not by the pass. What does Miami not have? A run game. The Dolphins are going to be dropping back and throwing it on a team that not only plays great defense against a pass, but also a team that just got their best cornerback. Denzel Ward's back. That's their best coverage guy in the secondary. I love the Browns here. I think they win, but I love them getting 3 and a hook.
Yeah, I would never bet the Dolphins in this situation, but I'm on the over. If there's a Miami Dolphins game on, I'm on the over. They're the 2nd ranked offense in DVOA and the 27th ranked defense in DVOA. They give up a shit ton of points, but they're gonna score a shit ton of points. I understand Denzel Ward's back and his Browns secondary has looked pretty good, but this is Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I'm not sure many defenses are going to look good versus them too, but like Kyle said, I have no doubts in my mind that Cleveland is going to hang a number on this Dolphins defense as well. Like he said, Justin Fields threw for 3 touchdowns last week, and I actually love that because I would like the Browns in this game, and I like the over because not only is Cleveland going to be able to run the ball with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but Jacoby Brissett is low-key going to snap today. I actually picked him up because Kyler has a torn labia, and I have to play. I had to stream a quarterback, so I picked up Jacoby Brissett today. The Dolphins actually run the fewest 2 high sets in the NFL, and that's huge because Jacoby Brissett is terrible versus 2 high sets. In single high sets, his explosive downfield pass rate and his numbers overall all significantly jump here. I think Amari Cooper has a huge game. I think Jacoby Brissett surprised everybody and has a big game through the air, and then they're always going to be able to run. And then the Dolphins offense is the Dolphins offense. Like Staples, every time I bet a Miami Dolphins over, it's just, that was easy. Cash it.
Wait, someone just put that the Dolphins are 4-0 against the spread at home. No, I'm showing 2-2. I thought that was a cool stat. I think it's wrong though. Anyway, prop Beaver. I was gonna say when I saw that, I was like, how did I miss that?
Yeah, I'm on the Browns with you. I think that what the Browns are going to attempt to do is that they're going to attempt to run the ball with Chubb as many times as humanly possible, keep that Dolphins offense off of the field, and it makes sense because, I mean, you were saying that the Cleveland pass defense has been better lately. I will definitely give them that, but I still overall don't trust this Cleveland defense, and I don't know if Stefanski does either. So
wait, hold on. Question though, do you trust them now that Drake posted a picture in a Denzel Ward jersey? Does that change things for you?
Yeah, that's P. So I
Yo,
will
Drake
probably.
Drake had 2 million on Adesanya last night.
Yeah.
Yo, he got dropped
That
in the
was a great
fifth.
bet. Yeah, that was tough. Ultimately, I just really think that the Browns are going to start to build some momentum after that win over the Bengals, and that this is a prime matchup for them to pull off a nice upset against a team that many view as a very legitimate contender in the AFC. Give me the Browns.
Cool. And to answer Scott B before he said I'm a VIP, what time do the picks be released? They're already typed up. The only thing I have to do is the top 7 bets I didn't do because I was struggling with it. I only have 4, so I always promise people 7, so I need to squeeze 3 more in there. But after this live's over, give me 15 minutes and I'll have them up for you. Anyway, I think I'm putting both of these on the VIP, by the way. Browns at over. Why not?
I like the over too.
Next game, Broncos at Titans, and I mean, me and AJ were talking about this one last night. We love this one. I'm all over the Titans here. And it's not just so much like the Titans are just a better team than the Broncos, because they are. But it's also just the mismatches. Check out what we found. Me and Prop Beaver did this one last night before he left. So the sharps are on Denver. There's sharp money on Denver here. I'm not seeing it. I'm really having trouble finding why. Check this out. So obviously we know the Broncos' strength is the defense, right? And deservingly so. There's in the last 4 weeks, they're 6th in DVOA overall in defense. So it's not like the defense is falling off. It's still playing at an elite level. First in pass defense DVOA in the last 4 weeks. So it's still as good against the pass now as it was early in the season. Tip your hat to the Broncos defense. They're great against the pass. Want to know where they rank against the run? 29th. 29th. This Broncos defense has been bad against the run, and in case you've never watched the Tennessee Titans game, that's what they do. That's all they do. Their whole team has dreads and sits in the backfield wearing number 22. That's the team. Their offense is Derrick Henry. I'm not saying the Titans offense is great by any means, but it's perfectly built to give this Broncos defense problems. It's big, it's physical, and it grinds at you for 4 quarters. A team that struggles to stop the run, playing the Titans in Tennessee is a nightmare. And honestly, I think Tannehill's going to play, but I don't even care if he does. I'm on the Titans either way. In fact, if he doesn't play, this line might even drop. You might be able to get Tennessee to pick him. I'd still have the same opinion. The Broncos have an elite pass defense. All right, cool, sweet. Tennessee might drop back 12 times in this game. And the Titans defense, remember how I just said, wow, Geno Smith sucks, huh? He just took a bad sack.
They are who we thought they were.
Just run this clock out. Stay under, you son of a bitch. Stay under. And do you remember I just said Broncos defense in the last 4 weeks is 6th? The Titans is 3rd. So all the props I just gave to the Broncos defense, the Titans defense has been better. They're 7th against the pass, 1st against the run. This Titans defense is elite. And their offense is perfectly built to move the ball in Denver. I don't really get... I mean, Tennessee loses a close heartbreaker game with their backup quarterback by 3 points. Nice ball. Let's go, Geno. Who's 11? Oh, good one. So Tennessee loses a heartbreaker on Sunday Night Football to Patrick Mahomes. They lose by 3. And all of a sudden, people forgot that the Titans won 5 straight football games and have the best record against the spread in the league. They're 6-2 against the spread. I don't see it. I'm all over the Titans. Titans minus 2.5.
I'll just join in right now.
Oh,
put in Titans minus 2.5. I'm all over that. And give me Derrick Henry over 96.5 rush yards, minus 110 on FanDuel. I don't know why that line dropped. That line dropped a whole 10 rushing yards. And I, to be honest, have no clue why. It could be because Malik Willis may potentially be playing. It could be because Tannehill's playing now and they won't give him as many attempts. I don't really care. If you're going to give me that line, I'm going to bet it every single time.
So Henry over
Denver
96.5. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the Denver rush defense has been quite frankly terrible lately. I know it kind of seems a while ago, but Breece Hall and Travis Etienne are the last 2 running backs the Broncos have faced. So what have they done? Well, they combined for 220 yards on 8.14 yards per carry. 8.14 yards per carry. They are smoking the Broncos like a goddamn black and mild. Now we got Derrick Henry, who is truly catching a groove right now. I believe he's hit 100 plus in 3 straight games now. The offensive line is starting to catch a groove. And now you're going to have most likely Ryan Tannehill back. So now you can't just stack the box every single time. I mean, they probably will because it's Derrick Henry, but you can't necessarily do that. Anyways, Derrick Henry is the only way for the Titans to win this game, because if you're going to ask Ryan Tannehill to throw the ball against this Broncos defense, then that is an absolute nightmare. But if they just keep handing it off to Derrick Henry, I see a game plan in which they win this game comfortably. I mean, if we look at the two running backs who've gotten 20 plus carries against the Broncos, it's been Josh Jacobs and Travis Etienne. Both of them ran for over 140 yards in their game on over 5.1 yards per carry. So if you're getting more and more carries, you're going to bully this Broncos rush defense. And then if we're flipping it to the other side, the Broncos offense is so horrendous situationally that there's simply no way I could bet them against the Titans, who are one of the best defenses situationally. We're talking about a top 5 defense in terms of third down percentage and red zone percentage versus a bottom 3 offense in third down percentage and red zone percentage. I think the Titans have so many edges here. It's quite wild. Give me the Titans.
Sean? I don't even remember what you're on in this game.
Yeah, I kind of took the easy way out. I am doing a 2-team teaser.
Oh, right. Okay.
I am taking the Broncos up to 8.5, and I'm going to tease them with the 49ers down to 1.5.
49ers minus 1.5. Right. Okay.
I'm not as bullish as on the Titans as you guys are. I completely agree with your analysis that that Derrick Henry should have a big game in this one. Should be able to have his way with this Broncos run defense. But this Titans defense, while they are playing really good football lately, in this one, they're going to be missing Jeffrey Simmons, Bud Dupree, Zach Cunningham, and Amani Hooker. That's 4 starters for this Titans defense. I just can't ignore that. I understand it's the Broncos, but they're off a bye. Maybe Nathaniel Hackett and Russ are actually going to start cooking. It's going to remain to be seen. I'm not going to hold my breath. But I think they can have success versus an injured Titans defense here. I expect this to be a low-scoring game with the Titans running the ball efficiently and chewing the clock and having long time of possessions. So I will gladly tease this up to over a touchdown here. It's the safest play to me. I'm not bullish on either side.
Do you know what
one thing I will say?
I know those. Like, can you get that at minus 110? Because I know they're not as generous with those 6-point teasers as they used to be.
You know, I've never actually put a teaser in on a legit book.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done them in a while either. They used to have it set where they gave you the minus 110, but they stopped doing that. Now they make you take it out like minus 125 and shit. They really buckle down on those teasers.
I will get that for you.
All right, cool. We'll just move on to the next one. God, this game. All right, well, I'm taking the Raiders minus 4.5. Jeez, this sucks. This is like takes the wind.
That's exactly my thoughts on this game.
This takes the wind out of my sails here. All right, so I know it seems insane. Sorry. I know it seems insane to lay 4.5 points with a 2-6 team, but it's important to keep in mind that the Raiders are 2-6, but they're 2-1 at home, and they should be 3-0. Their only home loss of the year was back in week 2 against the Cardinals, and they were up 8 with the ball with 3 minutes left, and somehow found a way to lose that game in overtime. But the Raiders are 2-1 at home. They should be 3-0. So yeah, Las Vegas looks bad, but they look a lot better at home. And let's face it, they've had a pretty rough stretch of schedule here. They've only played 1 home game in the last 5 weeks. And the way this team is looking, they need to play some home games here. They need some confidence back. But to be honest, this bet is more of a fade of the Colts than it is a bet on the Raiders. The Colts offense is so bad. Does Jonathan Taylor returning to the lineup even change anything? I mean, their run game was horrible before he got hurt, and it was horrible after he got hurt. I don't really see him coming back into the lineup as like a real game changer. I'm not saying he's not talented. Of course he is. I'm just saying that he can't run the ball. He has nowhere to run.
I do think Jeff Saturday is going to try to make like a commitment to the run game. But yeah, like you said, I don't know if it's going to equal success.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It just wasn't there. And I've seen them try to commit to the run game earlier in the year, not as much as they should, but there were times where they just like ran it for a couple drives in a row and just went nowhere. I think the Colts are going to need to make plays in the passing game eventually. They're going to try to run it. I don't think they're going to be successful. And Sam Ehlinger, I've been calling him Ehlinger his career. Now I'm hearing people call him Sam Ehlinger. Maybe I've been saying it wrong since his days in Texas.
I always thought it was Jer too.
Yeah, I thought it was Ehlinger, but whatever. I heard someone say Ehlinger on like ESPN or something, so I was like, shit, maybe I'm wrong. And also there's the stuff with Jeff Saturday's tweet, right? I personally am not big on this kind of stuff. I don't think, like, these aren't kids. It's not like, grr, he called us trash on Twitter, we're gonna show him. Like, I don't really see, I mean, to be honest, I bet you a bunch of the Raiders players, when they saw Jeff Saturday's tweet, were like, yeah, we're 2-6. We just blew a 20-point lead to the Jags. We are trash. Like, I bet you a lot of them agreed with it. Like, these aren't WWF wrestlers. These are grown adult men. I admit that I think it's funny. I had a laugh about it, and I'm excited to see like what the Raiders fans are gonna do. If there's gonna be some funny signs making fun of Saturday, I'm sure they're gonna have something. But yeah, I'm on the Raiders. AJ, weren't you saying something that the Colts, his teammates, didn't like Jeff Saturday? I never heard that before. You said that. You like mentioned that last night.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been a 2 a.m. thought, I'll be real. But I don't, from what I've heard in my past, I've never heard of anybody fucking with Jeff Saturday. I actually saw a clip vividly of Peyton Manning cursing the fuck out of Jeff Saturday on the sideline. Because he's like, you gotta run the ball. He's like, how about you just fucking block? Just fucking block.
Yeah, that is funny now that Saturday's coaching, because yeah, Peyton told him in that video, he was like, stop calling fucking plays. Just do your job.
That's awesome.
Now he's the coach.
So, Proppy, what are you on?
Yeah, this will be 5 seconds. The Raiders. Sam Ehlinger established himself last week as a quarterback that you can never put your money on. I would rather bleach my eyes than bet on the Colts again. They're pathetic. Like that shit was so sad last week. It left such a sour taste in my mouth that I never even want to think about betting this team again.
He said I would rather bleach my own eyes than bet the Colts.
They're disgraceful. Nah, they really, truly are disgraceful.
Sean, you're on the Raiders too, right?
Yeah, I don't love this game, but I have no choice but to be on the Raiders. I think they absolutely suck. I think the Raiders are terrible. But the Colts are equally as bad. They're missing Shaq Leonard again. And now they have a quarterback who can't play in the NFL, clearly. A coach who was working at ESPN last week. And then they have a play caller this week. There's not a single coach on the coaching staff that has ever called plays in an NFL game. How the hell can I back the Colts here? I have no choice but to take the Raiders.
According to Pat McAfee, everyone loves Jeff, AJ. But he also claims to be like, sweet. He also claims to give out betting advice while working for the sports book. So take that as it is.
I'm sure Pat McAfee is a very trustable guy. Always tells the truth.
He's so deep in FanDuel's pocket.
In the Professional American Football League.
Next,
did you see that? That's what McAfee's calling the NFL now after that whole.
Yeah, I know. He's being such like a vagina about it.
He's a really cool guy. Totally funny. Very.
I don't get it. Like he's like, I always supported the NFL, but then I can't use their logo, so now I'm gonna publicly bash him. Like then you're not supporting him at all. Whatever.
He's a clown.
Yeah, I only support the NFL when everything works out exactly the way I want it. As you probably already saw on YouTube, I'm on the Cowboys here, and it sucks because like it's so obvious that the books want me to bet the Cowboys, right? I mean, they keep dropping this line. But what the hell? I mean, the Cowboys, of their 6 wins, 4 of them have been blowouts. One was a 7-point win. The only time one of their wins even was less than 4 was week 2 against the Bengals. The Cowboys are beaten up on teams right now. And actually, analytically, over the last 5 weeks, they're the best team in football. They're first overall in DVOA. Analytically, I'm not saying the Cowboys are the best team in football. I'm just saying, if you take the last 5 weeks, they're first in overall DVOA. I mean, no team in the NFL has more double-digit wins than the Cowboys. The Eagles, the Bills, and the Cowboys all have 4 wins by double digits. They also want to know how good the Cowboys have been on the road. This year and last year, they're 10-2 against the spread on the road, and one of those 2 losses was at Sunday Night Football at Philadelphia with Cooper Rush at quarterback, and the Cowboys missed a field goal with like a minute 20 left that would have gave them the backdoor cover. So they actually, like, in a sense, should be 11-1 against the spread in their last 12 road games. And then these Packers injuries are just nuts. Bakhtiari may not play. Devondre Campbell obviously out. Rashawn Gary obviously out. Romeo Doubs, finally Aaron Rodgers gets a receiver that he starts to like. Like, I actually saw him smile when the dude made a catch. He's out. Preston Smith's banged up. Aaron Jones is banged up. This team is a mess. And even if they're healthy, they're showing us that they're not very good. I think the Cowboys win comfortably. Sean?
Same. I hate this game. I hate the fact that the line, like you said, like, what the fuck is going on with this line? I feel like the Cowboys should be pushing up near a touchdown here. But there's no way in hell I'm ever betting the Packers. The Cowboys should be able to run all over this Packers defense, especially if Zeke's back too, him and Tony Pollard, former two-headed monster. But even if Zeke doesn't go, Pollard is clearly the better and more explosive back here in this one. But the Cowboys are the #1 defense in DVOA, and this offense has looked a lot better since Dak came back. He struggled versus the Lions in his first start in the first half, but then he got his feet under him, and he looked really good last week versus the Chicago Bears. And then, to Stephen Harrison's point in the comments, the line is short, but really it's not short at all. I agree. It's in Lambeau. I mean, it is Lambeau we're talking about here, so that is worth something. But I just don't see a path to victory here. Everybody scored. Teams are sleepwalking and scoring on the Detroit Lions, and Aaron Rodgers scored 9 points. What in the hell are they going to do versus this Cowboys defense? There's just no way I could ever back Green Bay here. I think the Cowboys slam them today.
Yeah, and
I wanted to bet.
Real quick, to Stephen Harrison's point also, yeah. I mean, theoretically, if you go by home field advantage, if this game was in Dallas, it would be Cowboys -9.5. So that would make a lot more sense to people. So the home and road thing sometimes plays with people's heads. It wasn't so much the line. I find it interesting that it moved down twice from 5 to 4.5 to 4, even though the publish on Dallas. That's the part that scares me, that they're moving it down.
I saw it at 3.5 this morning on DraftKings. It moved quickly after, but I saw it at 3.5, dude.
What is going on? Is Dak gonna not play or something? Like, what are they not telling us?
No, I really just think that Aaron Jones is gonna go ballistic after I rode with him last week and lost for like the 50th time this season.
Remembers he has him this week?
Yeah, right.
I don't know, dude. Yeah, there's no way I'm betting the Packers here.
I'm gonna bet Aaron Jones overs just so LaFleur doesn't use them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a great strategy. It's worked many a times. But no, the main thing here with me, as Sean said, bro, when I was looking at the DVOA charts defensively for the Lions, and I looked at the Packers game, the Lions aren't even sniffing below 0 DVOA defensively all season. And the Packers come in and they're like negative 25%.
No.
How? How?
The Lions defense.
Your line is third in adjusted line yards. Run the goddamn ball. It's so stupid. It makes me angry. All right, just give me the Cowboys.
That's stingy Lions defense, bro. That's stingy Lions D.
Stupid ass Packers, bro. Matt LaFleur is an idiot.
Next,
dude, the Packers had the ball, I think, in the red zone like 5 times versus the Lions. It came away with 1 touchdown.
Ugh. Dude, watching Aaron Rodgers throw picks into
Aaron
the end zone
Rodgers
was
hit more
awesome.
Lions in the end zone than Packers.
That shit was awesome.
That was awesome. All right, Cardinals at Rams. Shit, man.
Should I start us off?
I didn't even do a write-up for this game.
Dude, I barely did also. So I'm on the Rams. And actually, AJ, this comes from Prop Beaver. He said this last night, and I think this really sums it up. So, obviously, there's no Matt Stafford and there's no Kyler Murray in this game. We're rocking with 2 backup quarterbacks. It's Walford versus Colt McCoy for the Cardinals. Funny enough, Walford's only career start is last year at home against the Cardinals, and he beat him. not that I'm reading anything into that. I'm just saying it's funny. But
he owns them.
He just owns the Cardinals. But what AJ said last night is like, all right, well, what we should do is let's take these two teams. If you remove the quarterback position, so let's stop trying to look into like Walford or Colt McCoy. Let's just, if you remove the quarterback position, who do you think is the overall better team? And it's got to be the Rams as far as more talent. Not to mention, I'm not the hugest McVay guy, but there's a huge head coaching discrepancy here. Kingsbury sucks. He sucks.
Yes.
And I'm surprised he still has a job. So let's remove the quarterbacks out. Not only do the Rams have a more talented roster top to bottom, but they have a much better head coach who's probably way more well equipped to deal with not having his quarterback on the field. I think Colt McCoy probably is better than Walford, but you know what? Walford's undefeated against the Cardinals. He owns them. I'm going to lay the 2.5, but like, this game sucks.
Yeah, so I'll go next, dude. I really like the spot for the Rams. The Rams are coming off that piss poor loss against the Buccaneers, and the way the season's been going, wouldn't it just be absolutely perfect if John Wolford comes in and heals all for this goddamn Rams offense? The run game starts flowing. What is it? We see Allen Robinson start getting like receptions, like it's like, holy shit, this offense can function. I think that there's a somewhat realistic chance that genuinely happens today. And I truly think that the Rams defense blows the Cardinals defense out of the goddamn water. Obviously without the quarterbacks, you're probably going to lean on the run more in this game. And while the rush attack for the Rams is arguably the worst in the league, they are going to be getting Kyren Williams back, who they've been hyping up all offseason. So maybe he'll show something. And the Cardinals' run game isn't really impressive either. You know who has the definitively much better rush defense? The Rams. And I could see them shutting down that Cardinals running game and then making Colt McCoy have to beat them. That's not ideal for me. That doesn't sound like a great time. Doesn't sound like a great viewing experience. Give me the Rams. Give me the Rams. And I'm also going to look into John Wolford over rushing yards. I'm just waiting for a line to drop.
And I like what you said, because I could see that too. Like, this guy Walford comes in and all of a sudden the Rams look like the Super Bowl. Like, Aaron Donald has 3 sacks. Ramsey has a pick 6.
Yeah.
Like, they just look like the Super Bowl
Like,
champs
who is
again.
this team?
Sean, you did not write a pick on the sheet, so do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'm on the Rams. If it's gonna be Wolford versus McCoy, I'm on the Rams. I had scenarios in my head. If it was Stafford versus Murray, it was the Rams. If it was Wolford versus Murray, it was the Rams. If it was this situation right here, it is the Rams. The only way I was considering the Cardinals was if it was McCoy versus Stafford and we got an inflated number. I would have took the Cardinals in that one.
That's a good point.
But with these two, like AJ said, he's waiting for Wolford's rush yards prop. I was going to say, Wolford is an athlete. He can
run the hell out of the ball.
He actually came in a playoff game, I believe it was, versus the Seahawks a couple years ago, and actually was moving the rock a little bit. And looked pretty decent. And like you guys said, they're the better overall team. They're the better defense here, under a field goal with, in my opinion, a not downgraded quarterback. Like, Stafford is, outside of Ellinger and Malik Willis, is like the 3rd worst quarterback in the NFL this year. Like, he's been terrible. Wolford can't be that much worse, if not better, than Stafford here. So I'm going to take the Rams at a short number.
Last thing I want to add real quick about that potential rushing prop. Let's look at some of the quarterbacks who have played the Cardinals thus far. Kirk Cousins, 22 rushing yards. What the hell? Andy Dalton, 21 rushing yards. Geno Smith, 86 rushing yards. Jalen Hurts, 61 rushing yards. So people are running on the Cardinals as quarterbacks. So potentially nice matchup for Wolford here. He ran for 46 yards against them in his only start against them last year. So I like him to use the legs again.
Don't look now, but here come the Hawks. Will Dissly, 17-yard catch. Will Dissly, 18-yard catch into Bucs territory. DK Metcalf, another first down. Here come the Hawks. That was my voice. Next game. Oh, last game. Sunday Night Football, and I'm sure you've seen what I wrote on YouTube. There's just so... I'm on the Chargers, and look, and I'm not saying there isn't a scenario where I can't see the 49ers beating the shit out of the Chargers. Of course I could see it. There's just too many things that point towards the Chargers for me to lay this kind of number And this is a feeling. I don't know this for a fact, but haven't all the Sunday Night Football games been close? Like, even the ones that are supposed to be blowouts, like the Titans game. Wasn't the Bills-Packers Sunday Night Football, and that ended up being a 10-point game. So, I mean, I just think we're seeing close games on Sunday Night Football, but don't quote me on that, because I was just going off a feeling on that. But the mismatches that I like are, I don't think the 49ers defense is any good right now. It's been playing awful over the last, 4 weeks? Over the last 4 weeks, it's dead last in DVOA. This is the worst defense in football the last 4 weeks. Yes, a lot of that belongs on the shoulders of their injuries, but the injuries aren't getting better. They get a linebacker back, he's okay. What's his name? I forget his name. He's not one of the main guys, but he's coming back. But then they got Ibuka, that pass rusher, back, and then he got hurt again, so he's out again. So they're still missing 3 of their 4 defensive linemen, and they're still missing 2 of their starting corners. So even though they get a linebacker back, they're still absolutely gutted, and they've been horrible. This defense has been horrible with these injuries. And the Chargers have the best pass protection in the NFL. Literally number 1. Fuck. And also, look, Chargers, we keep doubting their defense on the road, and they keep showing up. Chargers are 4-0 against the spread on the road. They have not been beaten against the spread on the road once. They're also 5-0 in their last 5 games against the 49ers. So the Chargers have owned San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan historically has a bad record against the spread as a home favorite, but he's won like 3 or 4 in a row or something, so disregard that. I like the Chargers have been good on the road. The defense just seems to show up. I'm taking the 7 and a hook. AJ?
Yeah, Chargers all the way here. I just think that the 49ers are a bit overvalued right now due to the CMC hype, as you were saying yesterday. And while I do really like the 49ers offense, and I think that they should be able to put up some points here, I'm just not seeing all these stops coming for the 49ers. The pass rush completely has disappeared. So has anybody's coverage skills with all the injuries that have happened to the secondary. So it's just a really bad matchup in terms of what the Chargers like to do offensively and what the 49ers are good at currently defensively. And they're still not even good at rush defense. This is going to be on Justin Herbert to go out there and win this game. And I think he could do that. I mean, he's performed quite well against the NFC in his past. I believe he's 7-3 straight up against them. And the San Francisco 49ers could be one of the easiest secondaries he'll see. He did just face Atlanta, who he barely beat. But who knows? Sunday Night Football, big time, big show, big stage. That's where the best players show up. I expect Justin Herbert to show up.
Real quick, I want to address this comment. He said Chargers can't stop the run. But, that's what we keep saying about the Chargers. That's what we keep saying. They go on the road to the Chiefs. The Chargers defense can't stop Kansas City. You know what? They cover in Arrowhead. Then they go on the road to Houston, and they're like, Dameon Pierce is killing it right now. Chargers can't stop the run. Take the points. Chargers win huge and cover. Then they go on the road to Cleveland. Oh, my God, the Browns, Nick Chubb. Chargers can't stop the run. They'll steamroll them. Chargers win and cover. Then last week against the Falcons, they go on the road to Atlanta. They can't stop the Falcons' rush attack. They stop them, they win. So we keep down, like, the Chargers keep going on the road, and they're like, they can't stop the run, and they keep showing up and stopping the run. So at what point are we just like, no, they actually can? Sean?
Yeah, for starters,
this is your
Chargers
teaser.
Can't stop the run. No. But no, seriously, I think Christian McCaffrey is gonna have a good game in this one. But I'm not laying the 7.5. This is part of my 2-team teaser with the Broncos. So I got the 49ers down to 1.5, and I looked it up. It's minus 120 on that teaser. So you're laying a little extra juice, but I think it's worth it. I think this is pretty safe. I don't think the 49ers are going to be in threat of losing this game at home. No Mike Williams, no Keenan Allen. Austin Eckler should be able to have. Well, he has to. He's their only really go-to weapon here. I just don't see Jordan Palmer and DeAndre Carter striking fear in this 49ers secondary that's banged up. If it was a healthy Chargers team, I would absolutely be scared about the injuries. But it's not. The Chargers offense is as injured as the 49ers defense, in my opinion. And Justin Herbert, I keep waiting for this Chargers offense to just explode, without. But I think Brandon Staley is an actual moron. I think he's an actual idiot. And he's going to be a coach that's on the hot seat, whether it's by the end of this year or next year. He doesn't use Herbert. He doesn't highlight Herbert's strengths. They literally don't go downfield at all. Like you have one of the biggest arms in the league. Everything's underneath. It's Eckler's this entire offense here. I just don't see the Chargers like putting up a crazy explosive game versus this 49ers defense. So I'm comfortable teasing this down to 1.5. And I think C-Mac has a big game in this one.
All right, last game. So let's talk some parlays. Do you guys each have one? Or no, AJ is a SGP. Sean, do you have a parlay?
Yeah, I actually got 2. I'm gonna give out a Christmas gift in this one.
All right, hit us with the first.
Oh wow!
All right,
Didn't know
the
Santa
first one
was
is a regular parlay. It's the over 49.5 in the Dolphins Browns, the Cowboys -3.5, and then the Lions +3, and that's coming back at +582.
All right, so there's Sean's first one on the screen there. There you go. AJ, your SGP.
Oh god, this is gonna be a bit of a nightmare to type. But me and Sean were on the same wavelength earlier with this Texans game. I got over 41.5 points.
So hold on. Giants, Texans, over 41.5. Go.
Damian Pierce and Barkley touchdown.
Barkley. Anytime.
And both of them 100+ rushing yards.
Pierce over. Hold on, let me raise it up so I can see where I'm typing. This is a bear to type. All right, so
Yeah, I know. It's
Pierce,
heinous, bro. I'm
over
sorry.
100 rush yard. Barkley
And same with Barkley.
over 100 rush yard. And what's that come out to?
And then take your ass to DK and boost that bitch up because they got the SGP boost. That's at 1950 with the boost, 1500 without it.
1950 with boost. All right, bro. Thanks for giving that out. And Sean, you said you have a second one?
Yeah, you think that's juicy? I got one. It's Christmas morning.
Let's go.
I have a 2 touchdown parlay that I like. I don't know if any other books offer this besides FanDuel. Honestly, I don't know if DraftKings does it. But I got 2 touchdown parlay, and if you guys know Beaver, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I posted screenshots. I've hit this 3 out of the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, he has hit it a couple times. I've seen it. I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Christian McCaffrey, 2+ touchdowns.
Okay.
I am going with Saquon Barkley, 2+ touchdowns. And I am going with Travis Etienne, 2+ touchdowns. And that comes back at 12,380 plus.
So plus,
Okay, well, Jesus Christ.
plus 12,280. Oh, all right.
That's a mind to shame.
But tell me that's not hitting.
It's not in it.
I
All
think
right.
it could.
Thanks everyone for watching. Getting the VIP ticket out right now. Give me 15 minutes and I'll have it up. Everyone enjoy your Sundays. Let's win ourselves some money. We're coming with some momentum. We had a great college football Saturday. How about we follow it up with a great NFL Sunday? And how about the Hawks turn up without going over the goddamn total? First down, Julio Jones. I'm turning this game off. I'm going to flip out. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
All right. So, Sean, you're